years old, I lived with my grandmother. My grandmother, she is a single mom, and my grandfather left her for another woman. She took care of 6 kids and 3 grandchildren, and one of them is me. One day, she asked me to collect money from someone who asked her to make a dress for her. She was a dressmaker. She said, "Will you please collect this money from this lady because I don't have money?" And I said, "Yes, grandmother." But at the back of my mind, I was worried because it was dark at night. It was late at night. But I cannot say no. It was my grandmother. And so slowly I walked on the street. It was so dark. And sometimes I stopped because I remember the ghosts that my father used to tell me when I was young. But I have to go on. And when I reached the curb right next to the church, I saw that darkness. It's really dark. And I had 2 thoughts. Should I pull back and return to my grandmother and just tell her, this lady isn't there? Or should I go through this dark area and then ask her for the money she owes my grandmother? I returned back to my grandmother. That's what I did. And she was waiting for me, and she said, "What happened?" I said, "She wasn't there." I lied. How many of you have lied once in your life? This is the moment of truth. Anyone? Thank you. So this is very interesting because the next day, she found out what happened. And she called me. She said, "Come here. You lied, didn't you?" And I said, "But grandmother, it was dark." And I knew something is going to happen. She pulled that bamboo up in the place where she keeps it. And she whipped me, and whipped me, and whipped me. And that was the first time I was whipped. My father never whipped me. And while she was whipping me and spanking me, I said, "No! No! It hurts!" And so what I felt was pain. But the most painful of all was the pain of humiliation and shame. The same pain and humiliation and shame that I saw from the eyes of the poor kids that I used to see in the street. This is very interesting because there are 2 kinds of kids I see in the streets in the Philippines. One is this kid, but another group of kids are the ones that belong to the wealthy family. And they normally are always laughing and carrying on. "What are you eating? Let me have that. Okay, all right. Here, come with me. Let's buy something." This reminds me of another experience. My dad, he always tells me I'm his favorite daughter. So this is, every night he would come and he would say, "Oh, where's my favorite daughter? Let her come here. Let her give me my slippers." And I would go running. "Daddy, here's your slippers." And he would embrace me and say, "You are the best daughter in the world." So these 2 experiences make me cry. One make me cry and one make me smile. But really, I realized both of this came from the experience that I have with kids who are poor and kids who are wealthy. This painful experience was triggered by a memory of those poor kids who were humiliated and shamed. I connected them to humiliation and shame. And this story here, with my father being the best child in the family, I connected that to these kids having money and fame and fortune. So what is really best? This experience or this? Nothing really, you know why? Because it creates stress within ourselves. If we go crying and then smiling. So what is the best thing to do? The best solution really is to forgive our fear so that we feel whole within. Fear of seeing children who are poor, and fear of humiliation and shame. And then helping change the society to maybe support a foundation that supports equal life for all so that there will be no more hungry kids.